Sumimasen. You know English?
No,
No English?
no English.
Nande?
わかんない。
Wakana.
わかんない。
As black men, we have to live with reality. And one of the realities of being a black man is that we're going to have to realize that we'll never really get a genuine reaction to a proposal, anything close to this. This is BGS Ibmore explaining pretty much why us as black males pretty much expect to never have that kind of over-the-top reaction to a proposal from us.
Black males, even though they prefer their own in-group females, they're the least racially, I say not charged, but racially picky out of all groups. Maybe it's because they're out group, I don't know. So after their own particular females, they'll pick any group of females that pick them.
In order for us as black men to understand how to date overseas, we have to understand how the dating environment we come from has affected us. And this is where BGS Ibmore nails it down.
So if a white female cannot get a white male that provides the necessary resources and environment that she wants, she'll pick any other male, including the black male, and on down the scale. So Asian, Latina, blah, 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 on down the scale. They'll pick a black male. It's like black males can marry out more. Wherein black women can't, because what they want and what they can get are two different things.
Because we come from this environment as black men in terms of dating, it has a discernible effect on how we approach dating when we go overseas. So I want to nail it down before I make my point in this video.
Most females, their second choice is their own in-group male. So they don't desire white males as much as their own in-group males. So they're more willing to marry and stay with their own men, especially white females. Which is also why, if you want to believe it, that small sample size in 2002, where the least divorced group out of all women or pairings of racial groups with male and female, the least likely to get divorced are what? You guessed it, white males and black females. Because the black female has realized her hypergamous or racial hypergamous desires. And since her opportunity to get a white male is so slim, it's so rare, that once she gets him, she's not going to let him go because she's not going to get another one. So the percentages and risk of divorce go way down. With that being said, why is this the Holy Grail? Because once you've laid that out, hypergamy and these racial hypergamous desire is preference, but not reality. So if black women desire white men most, but white men desire black women least, what is she left with? She's left with a man that she doesn't want or doesn't prefer. And she's bound to that man by necessity, because the man that she really desires will not marry her, will not take her as a mate.
Although it's an unfortunate reality, in the West we're taught all men are created equal, but on a subconscious level, we know that there's something else there, even if we don't admit it on the conscious level. And that simply is that certain men are born a certain way where they can offer a level of status that we as black men simply can't, even if we get our money together. And because of this, I think that we as black men have found ways to overcompensate for the fact that we can't offer status simply by our birthright, be it swag, riz, however you want to call it. And so this overcompensation is something we carry with ourselves overseas, because when we try to date in the West, especially inside of our own group, we are held to a higher standard simply because for those of us that aren't 6 feet tall, that aren't making six figures yet, or aren't doing all the other things, the fantastic body, we can't offer all of the perks and amenities that, as BGS referred to, many of our ladies simply want, but can't get from us. I've spoken of Austin Holloman often on this channel, and I support the young man. I still do support him. I would not take back any of the videos that I've made about him unless I get a bunch more information that I haven't yet to get, which is not yet, so I have no reason to not support him. But this conversation is not necessarily about Austin as much as it is about the kind of attitude that black men take overseas. You're going to hear, frankly, how thirsty the guys were to get at Kate.
Fast forward, they break up whatever, they stop talking. And now, some of Austin's so-called enemies, she creeping with him. Every time Austin go to like an event or he go to 808, he go anywhere, he sees her. She with the tall guy with the dreadlocks. That bit, I mean, this dude was so thirsty for Kate. Guess what he did, y'all? But when he thought Kate was gonna be at Travelversity and Lucky Spot, this young dude showed up and stayed over there for damn near 6 hours, waiting on her to show up. But something ended up coming up, maybe a customer, and she didn't show up or whatever. That's how thirsty this dude was for Kate. Hey, I want to know, why do you guys want to go behind the next man? If it's anybody I know that a dude I'm cool with, I'm been with, I'm not going behind him.
I'm not big on gossip, so I can't substantiate any of the claims made in the video, and I won't. But what stuck out to me is, aside from Austin, because I mean, Austin is just doing his thing, the guys that were so incredibly thirsty for Kate, he tells like several stories of guys offering thousands of dollars to be with her. And I think she's okay looking. She's not the finest Asian woman I've ever seen, but there's one special caveat I believe is the reason why so many guys were going after her in particular.
My name is Joyce, and I'm a Chinese American.
Why did you move all the way here to Thailand?
I like the person I become when I'm in Thailand. I feel really happy. And if you come to Thailand and you're not happy, then that's on you. พี่พอพูดไทยได้ไหม
พูดไทยได้นะแน่นอนแล้วคุณพูดไทยได้ไหม
To be honest, I didn't understand what you said. Is my Thai bad or...
I know absolutely nothing about Thai or Thailand really, except you don't speak ill of the king in public. But aside from that, watching this TikTok, you can tell that this young lady has put in some time trying to learn Thai. You can hear even just from the pronunciation, even if her understanding is very low level. And I think that's the missing key in place of swag that many black men need to carry overseas. And I want to show you exactly why. I want to take a second and shout out Pimp God Warren B. As a self-declared square, I've always had my issues with being confident dealing with women. But he said something that was so extremely profound that I've carried it from the day I heard it to this one. He said, you don't have to woo a woman with money or swag or game if that's not your lane. He said you can woo a woman with your mind. Essentially, he's saying, find your lane, even as an intellectual or a square, and you can make that swag your game. For me, a portion of my swag comes from not just my intelligence, but my pursuit of becoming a polyglot. To the people that question why bother learning Chinese if you already speak Japanese, well, as you can see, my methods for studying Chinese are evolving. My renewed interest in grammar and vocabulary is part of my new swag, because it's a window to a new, more competent passport OG that will be switching between not 2, but 3 languages in my future conversations. In other words, language learning is a far underestimated hack that remains, in my opinion, underexploited by passport bros traveling overseas. A new kind of Riz. This is a young lady who is half black, half Japanese, and the gentleman that approached her either A, chose not to speak Japanese, or B, doesn't speak it, and you're going to see a really missed opportunity here.
So my dad, you know English?
No,
No English?
no English.
Nande.
わかんない.
What kind of?
She said wakannai, so she's fluent Japanese, and she either is too shy to speak broken English or she just doesn't speak it very well and she just doesn't want to use it. But you're going to see the continuation of this and you're going to see the missed opportunity.
わかんない.
Te agaru.
手あげる?
Te agaru. Futatsu. Te agaru. 2 hands.
So let's pretend that I were in the park and I had the opportunity to approach this young lady.
So my dad, you know English?
No,
No English?
no English.
Nande.
わかんない.
What kind of?
わかんない.
Te agaru.
I could start by saying, do you speak English? And she says, no, I don't speak English. And then I could reply with, じゃあ日本語使おうか。日本語がいいやっぱり。あなた可愛いですね。名前教えてくれん？教えてちょうだい。That's not that hard. Or at least if you know the language. And I'm just saying, could you tell me your name? You're really cute. You know, talk to me. And that's just simple riz that comes from, one, who you would be in your native language, and two, having ability to master or be fluent in a second language so you could be yourself in that language as well. And that is what a lot of passport bros should put in their arsenal. As Black men, we have to understand that we come from an environment where you can be a median earning, tax-paying, law-abiding Black man making $50,000, $55,000 a year, and you're still a dusty. If you're not 6 foot tall, if you're not in incredible physical shape, and if you're not making six figures, you don't even belong in the club. You don't even deserve being in shape for. And this coming from a gentleman, myself, that's in a country where not just the Japanese women with Japanese men, but you're seeing women come from Nepal working in convenience stores next to Nepalese men. And those women are cooperating with those men. If you're a young, tax-paying, law-abiding Black man and you're looking for self-esteem boosts on social media, good luck finding it, because social media now is full of media of young ladies saying that you are just dusty until you overcompensate for the fact that you're not the kind of guy that is their ideal. And so for guys that are used to that, you're going to carry those compensation mechanisms overseas, and often they manifest themselves in guys either A, trying to be a hip hop persona or a basketball type persona that may not even be who they really are, but they're doing that because it's a lane where they can get with young ladies that are looking for that. And the second way is a lot of guys will pay. If you're a guy and puts in the time to learn a language, you can do something like I did on my dating profile. I can say what languages I know, I can add Mandarin Chinese there. Am I proficient at Mandarin? Not yet, but I'm getting there. And I know enough that I can have a decent conversation. And that is swag that allows me not to have to compensate by, oh, I'm going to buy you something, or I got to, ice you out, or I got to do something like be a hip hop persona or be a rapper. I don't have to do that. I can just be my regular geeky self, except I'll be my geeky self in your language. And for a lot of guys that are passport bros, I really think you should invest the time in learning the local language. And if you're going to Thailand and you speak Thai, you can get away from the young ladies that are all trying to speak to you because they speak English and you speak English, because they're ready for you. You want to get the girl that's not ready for you, the girl that's never met a guy like you. If you find those young ladies, success is inevitable. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.